it feels like the relationship is another entity and it needs to be nurtured and it needs to be fed and watered or, whatever metaphor you want to use.
Sometimes it's okay to be boring. And sometimes the most special moments and the deepest love comes from.
Welcome back to In Residence. I'm Keith.
And I'm Laura.
Hey, Laura.
Hey, Keith.
How are you?
I'm doing okay. How are you?
Doing swell. What are we talking about?
We're going to talk about Valentine's Day today.
Okay.
So stick with me. So Valentine's Day is coming up this weekend. And you and I were talking about Valentine's Day, and I asked you whether or not you remembered any of the Valentine's Days that we've spent together. And what did you say?
I said, I'm not the kind of person to ask that question to.
You did.
And you're like, that's for the podcast. I'm like, no.
But to be fair, I also said I think there was only one or two that I remember as well.
Yeah.
I mean, we've been together for a long time.
Yeah, over 20 years.
Right? Yeah. I think there was maybe one when we were in Florida, when child one was a baby.
Okay.
And then the one that I remembered, I now forgot.
Oh, I actually remember Arizona.
Oh, yeah, that's right.
Yeah. Because you were on a work trip.
Yeah, a couple years ago, I went on a work trip and you came with, and it was over Valentine's Day, and we had pretty much all of Valentine's Day to ourselves because our flight was at like midnight. I think I tried to book the cheapest flight possible, and so you and I ended up going to the Botanical Gardens, and it was free because it was Valentine's Day.
Yeah,
it was kind of nice. We got to go see all the cacti.
Yeah.
Cacti.
Yep.
I don't think we knew what. I think we went to a restaurant, but they didn't serve wine or anything like that.
Yeah, I don't remember.
And then we went to the airport and just waited in the lobby and grabbed a glass of wine. And because we were so early, we couldn't even check in yet.
Oh, okay.
So we spent most of Valentine's Day in the lobby of the airport. So, okay. So the reason I'm bringing this up is because you and I, we often do something for Valentine's Day, but we don't normally do big, grand gestures. And there's nothing wrong with that if that's your thing.
Right.
But you and I, we often try and do smaller things, prioritize time with each other. I know one year, I remember and it was when we didn't have a lot of money and we were just together at the very beginning, and we made a challenge of we had to make each other Valentine's Day gifts.
Okay.
So I remember I made one of like pictures of you and I on the backs of CDs, like in a frame.
Oh, yeah.
And you made me a mixtape.
Okay. Yeah, you use those as like the border.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, we still have that picture.
Yeah, we do.
Yeah.
So what I was thinking is that you and I often do things kind of our own way. And we always say to each other, it feels like we have something really special.
Mm-hmm.
But what are those things that we do that aren't the same old couple things? Like good communication. We make time for each other.
Right.
We try not go to bed angry.
Try.
Doesn't always happen, folks.
Yeah.
But I thought it might be fun to unpack some of those things that I think maybe a little less known for relationships. And maybe some folks do them, and maybe some of them will really surprise folks. But you and I, when we were talking through this, we're like, oh yeah, that's right. That is something that we definitely do when you and I are bringing them up.
Because I'm like, the tricky thing is I'm like, there's got to be something special between us because it's working still.
Yeah.
And yet it's what we know. And so that's why like, it's not necessarily jumping out at me. So I'm like, we need to like, I'm like, let's put our heads down here and like, let's think through like, what are some of these things that, it would just nice to recognize or share, I guess. I don't know.
Yeah, absolutely. So I have a list of 5 things. I don't know if you brought any, but we can certainly go through this list and see where it goes.
Sounds good.
Want to? Okay.
Yeah.
The first one I have listed is that we lower the bar for romance.
Okay.
That probably doesn't sound real great, does it?
That's probably my fault. No.
No. I guess what I mean by that is I don't rely on you to be my everything, my intellectual, my emotional, my social person. I really want to make sure that I also have my life filled with work and hobbies and friends and family. And so, because I know when we were younger, I used to think like, this is what the magical scene should be, right? Keith should come
Connected
and,
at the hip and doing everything you like.
right. Well, not even that necessarily, but Keith should get me 2 dozen roses and he should take me to my favorite restaurant. And then we should go to a play, right? It was just like,
And I'm just like, what?
what is happening? And now, like last night, I mean, I feel like it was fun. We had a date night. We watched, oh gosh, what was the show? The British show that we watched that
Game of Knots?
Game of Wool.
Game of Wool. Okay.
Yes, Game of Wool.
Okay. They make a lot of knots in wool.
They do.
Okay.
It's Tom Daly's show. He hosts it, and it's a knitting competition.
Yeah. Oh, yep.
But we sat on the couch. We watched Game of Wool on the iPad and had charcuterie for supper.
Yeah.
Right, with mocktails because we're doing dry January and
still, yeah.
Yeah, it's still January, but
no, it's not.
No, it's not January, is it?
I'm like, where are you? I'm like,
I've lost track of time.
That's hilarious.
That's all right. It's February.
Yeah.
It actually is February.
Yes. We don't usually record that far ahead of schedule.
We don't actually.
Still aren't. So
we aren't. So the fact I forgot what month we're in.
Yeah.
That's a thing.
Yeah.
Okay. All right.
Well, it's another thing that works. Like I don't always know what day it is either. So.
Yeah. Yeah. So do you think that's one that resonates with you too, that we lower the bar on romance?
I don't know if we lower the bar. That statement sounds a little like it's a little lacking. I think we keep it simple.
Okay.
And we embrace the small joys of being together and connecting and simply spending quality time over we did this.
Yeah.
You know, there's a balance. Like every single date night isn't us sitting on the couch watching a show.
Right.
We do go out also. So we pull from both, but I think it's more of like, what's it about?
Yeah.
And the point is for us to be together. I tend to enjoy the time with you when I can hear you. So if we go somewhere that's really, really loud, I don't get the same type of connection with you.
Sure.
But it doesn't mean it's not an experience. So like when we go to a concert, right, we're not talking, but that's not, so then it's just like, oh, then we make sure that we have like maybe a quieter night at home, you know, whether it's over a puzzle or over a show, you know, because like when like a show like that, we definitely talk over. But then sometimes there's shows where we're like, okay, we got to be quiet, pay attention because we're really into the story. But like when it's like kind of like a popcorn show where it's just like, oh, it's a competition show. It's like we're just jaw jacking at each other, you know. So
yeah,
but
absolutely.
But yeah, to me, it's just more. It's simple and distilled into like it's all about keeping us connected.
Yeah.
So I wouldn't necessarily call it lowering the bar. But the bar isn't very high, I guess. So you're not wrong.
Maybe I mean not so much lower the bar as in like
we don't have high expectations or like you said, like it doesn't. I don't have to do a grand gesture to show you that I love you, right?
Right.
That doesn't mean I ought not make effort to make sure that you know through my actions that I care about you, you know, whether it's, you know, making you a card instead of buying one or, you know, taking like that's the type of thing that I'll do more is like instead of I guess I want my maybe my words or my acts of service to speak for you for my love for you versus like what I can obtain and hand to you, like by like money, I guess.
No, I think that makes sense. What I was going to say was that I think not lowering the bar, that's probably not it, but not putting so much pressure on ourselves, and not making it have to be so perfect or the right way or what everyone else is doing, that
Yeah.
we can simply go on our own path of what we enjoy
Yeah.
as partners.
Yeah. And I think that's been a little tricky, but it's also gotten easier with the fact that we're apart more often. It's harder to have more of those moments, but it makes those moments more special. And then it also makes me want to create them more often. Whereas before, when every day was together, I think maybe I got a little complacent, or we both simply were like, back from work. We have 3 hours before bedtime, and this, and this has to get done.
Right.
And you get into like a rut and a routine
Yeah.
where you're just getting by one day at a time, and then interjecting, say, a date night, that throws the schedule for a loop sometimes, and that's even harder to do. So then we put it off. Now it's like more intentional. It's whether it's if we're around each other and it's a Wednesday, it's like, well, that's a great mid-week way to break things up and to connect. Or a Friday night or a Saturday even. It doesn't have to be at night. Like it can, wherever we can fit it in. And I think I think I shared with you that what I really liked about the last few, I guess maybe it was last few months or a while ago, when I realized that if we do more date nights, then there's not so much on the line when we have them. So dinner doesn't have to be perfect if we can simply have another dinner another time, that kind of thing.
Yeah.
So it's not about feeling the pressure to do so much, but it's like, oh, well, if it doesn't have to be perfect, then it just always tends to end up pretty great anyway. Like there's not so much pressure on it.
Yeah, absolutely.
I don't know. It took a long time to find a balance, right? And to make sure we each get what fills our cup, right?
Yeah. Kind of shifting from this, but you kind of mentioned this as well. The second thing on my list is that we choose to be boring on purpose.
Yeah. I don't know if it's a choice on my part, but
Well,
I think you've realized like, oh, he's kind of boring. I better get on board.
But I mean, there is something to be said about having some predictability, having some routine, calmness. And I do think that sometimes when we're boring and being calm and having that predictability with each other, I do think that helps you and I weather stressful moments.
Having somewhere where there's like just this nice level resting place
Yeah.
allows you, and like that's home base, that allows you to come back to it. Like when things get elevated or things get low.
Right.
And I guess, I mean, that's maybe a way to describe it, but it's also, it's like rejuvenating and replenishing to be sitting, no stakes, working on a puzzle together.
Yeah.
Or you're working on a puzzle and I grab a Lego and we put on music and then, or an audiobook, right? Like I'll put on an audiobook and then it's like simply being in the same space is enough sometimes.
Yeah.
And it's almost like we brought up before, it's kind of like co-working, but it's like co-resting, and we can each, do it in our own way. And then sometimes that turns into us singing musicals, like,
Yeah,
so it's and but that's restful. That's restorative, I guess.
Right.
Is the better way of saying that. Like, I think we've come towards each other with like, and understanding like, oh, Laura needs to be restored in a certain way, and so does Keith. And And when they work together, they work together. And that independence we have too, I think goes back to things we've talked about before and maybe just brought up, but like, or I was trying to make it come up, but like that's not what you were saying. Is like we can go about doing our own things.
Oh, okay.
We don't have to be connected at the
Sorry,
hip.
I'm trying to follow. Okay.
When I was like, oh, we don't have to be connected all the time. Like I don't have to do what you want, and you don't have to do what I want all the time. There is like a certain amount of independence, which is probably the only reason that our for right now situation is working. Right. Mm-hmm. It's like you being a few hundred miles away most of the week.
Yes.
Is because you're a fairly independent person, and I can get along just fine, going about my own business.
Right. Yes.
Went on a little tangent there, probably.
And people might not think we're boring necessarily. I don't know. Keith, I don't care.
I don't care.
But I mean, I do think, to your point, we do a lot of just normal things around each other. Like this weekend has been really nice. We haven't done much of anything.
There wasn't a big to do about anything. We did plenty, but it was simple things like
we cleaned, we meal prepped.
Yeah. To me, it's a nice, I'm going to say it again. Maybe that's going to be one of the themes is it felt very restorative.
Yeah.
And we worked out too. Mm-hmm. So we expended energy in cleaning, organizing. Like that's restorative to me. That's something I like to do.
We finished Stranger Things.
Oh yeah. Yeah. That was cathartic.
That was.
Oh, I cried.
So good. You did cry.
No spoilers.
Yeah, we won't talk about it because it's pretty new.
But yeah, I cried several times in the last season.
Yeah. Oh.
I'm a sensei.
You are a sensei.
Yeah. But like, yeah, that's so fun. Like to be able to kind of surrender to a story and like just kind of be invested in it, mm-hmm. right? And to be able to do that with you, like it's so fun having something like that as for leisure. And because then the next day it's like, all right, got to go shovel, got to shovel here, got to shovel there, and we're going to go work out, and laundry and dishes and food prep, and it's
podcasting.
Like,
this is our routine.
Pairing some spontaneity with routine has been pretty beneficial for us connecting or me spontaneously going and doing something for myself when you're not around, mm-hmm. and just like, hey, like the thing that comes up is like an artist state or whatever, like you want to call it. It's like simply doing something for yourself to do something for yourself, like going to a museum.
What? An artist?
Artist Day is from Morning Pages.
Date or day?
Date.
Date.
So like going to the museum. Okay. Doing something that like helps feed your creativity.
Got it.
So,
okay. Who's that from?
Julia Cameron. I brought it up on here before. That's why I was glancing over it, because it's just
gosh, I don't know if I remember that. Interesting.
No, it's just like putting time aside for yourself to go like kind of like recharge, Sorry, I'm saying a lot of RE words. Anyway.
We talked a little bit about this one yesterday, but sometimes people think that, for relationships to go well, that either people don't argue or they argue in a kind way, like stuff like that. I'm not saying we argue in a non-kind way, but one thing that we landed upon is we normally don't argue to be right or wrong. Normally we're arguing because we want the other one to understand us and see us.
Yeah.
And that's something that we both, I think, have in common.
Yeah.
Is that we want to be understood.
It can be an interesting combination because we're both like that. So I think there's a lot of passion behind that, and us having those lenses at the same time. But yeah, understanding like, oh, you want to be heard too? Okay. I think being generous enough with each other allows that to work is like, okay, you deserve to be heard, and so do I. And therefore, it's my turn to listen, and I hear you, and I want to understand. So I think pairing the wanting to understand the other is maybe the superpower that we have, because if it's simply wanting to be seen and heard, that if we're both in that mindset, that's where we can kind of bounce apart, like the same side of the magnet, north and north or whatever. And but when you sprinkle a little bit of grace and understanding, and understanding, like, we're each going to get as much time as we need to be seen and heard, then you can kind of let that, I don't know if it's like, let your guard down a little bit or something.
Yeah. And it's not, I mean, the scene part is really about being understood.
Yeah.
And I feel like you and I have so many conversations, or I don't know, I mean, there are arguments, right? About, or when one of us kind of gets a little short with the other one. So I can even think, like, this weekend we went to go.
I'm nervous.
No, but like this weekend we went to go work out.
Yeah.
And I can't remember what it was, but you're giving me kind of feedback about what my form was looking like and how much weight I should have on the deadlift bar.
That's how you interpreted what I said.
Exactly. And
I'm like, that's not what I meant.
And I was sitting there and I'm thinking, because I've been working on rehabilitating my hip.
Yeah.
It's been sore. It's just been stiff and tight, and has been causing me quite a bit of, pain and tension.
Yeah.
And I like know the deadlifts are going to be good for me. I know the RDLs are going to be good for me. And the rest of my PT exercises, but I just wanted to do the weight that I had on there.
Yeah.
And you were adding more to it, and you could sense I was getting a little, you weren't adding more weight. You were encouraging me to add more weight or think about maybe adding more weight.
That's what you thought I was doing. And then I said, oh, no. I assumed you wanted more weight because you had been progressing with the other exercise and going up 5 pounds at a time. And so what I was asking was, oh, do you want the 10s on and take the 5 off? Because that would be a net 5 pounds. And so I was actually trying to be helpful and like kind of be like your spotter. But the way I said it and the way it came out, you thought I was trying to suggest you do it. And so yeah, now I remember. And so I was like, I'm like, oh, no. I'm like, that's not what I meant. I'm like, hold on. I'm like, yep, nope, not what I meant.
Yeah. Because I think I finally said, I am simply just trying to honor my hip, and I'm still showing up and doing it. And I don't want to add more weight because I simply just want to do the reps that I know I can do that are going to strengthen me gradually.
Yeah.
It's not like before when I was lifting and I had no pain and I was just really trying to go to fatigue. I don't want to make it worse, but I know, as one physical therapist said to me, motion is lotion, so it's like, that's good. But yeah, that when I started feeling short with you is because I didn't feel understood.
No, I think you're still.
And I think you didn't feel understood.
No, but I don't think I was very clear either. You getting short with me, no, like the way I approached what you were doing was my way, and then you simply had to clarify, like, I'm going to do it my way. I'm like, oh, okay, like, and I was just like, oh, and by the way, I wasn't trying to tell you what to do. I thought I knew what you were doing, and I thought I was being helpful, kind of thing. And so, like, you weren't, like, there wasn't a point where I felt like you were being short or like unkind to me. It was more of I filled in blanks and I showed up a certain way because I thought I knew what you were doing. And honestly, it was a really great time for me to see, like, oh, I don't know everything. Like, I think I'm pretty smart most of the time, or I think I'm pretty, like, I can see what's going on. It's like,
yeah,
for me,
right.
For me, I do. But
yeah.
So, yeah. Okay, that wasn't a fight or anything, or
Not
that wasn't
really.
even. That was like
But
a
it could have escalated to one,
yeah.
if
We've
we didn't catch that.
yeah. We took the time to understand each other for sure.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
So the last one that I had noted is something that I think is special between you and I is that we treat our relationship like a shared project. And what I mean by that is it's something that we maintain. It's something that we are constantly checking in about and adjusting our roles when we need to adjust our roles. And um, we also make time and small investments as we go. So, how you've said there's those small moments that we try and be with each other and be there for each other. And um, I think we really treat our relationship kind of like a shared project. Like it's
Yeah.
not just, are we winning or are we together?
Yeah.
Right. But
That brings up a couple things.
okay.
Um, I feel like I've brought him up to you before, but Scott Galloway,
Yeah.
like we got a few of his books,
Yeah.
and but that's one thing he gives out as like advice is stop keeping score.
Hmm.
And I'm like, okay,
It's true.
so that
Yeah.
came up. That's in my notes. And that came up. It's like something that we don't do.
Yeah.
Is like we try not to, right? Like every now
Yeah.
and then you'll find yourself like, well, I did the dishes last time, or I took out the garbage the last 3 weeks, and then you
Yeah.
know you gotta squash that, right? Like just get it out. Like, hey, I feel like I'm doing more of this than the other, and you have a conversation about
Hmm.
it, right? You don't keep a hidden tally in the back of your head, right?
Right.
That breeds resentment. Um,
Yeah.
and then when we're talking about this and trying to figure out like, okay, well, what would we say? The the thing that I had shared was I have my perspective on our relationship, and you have yours, and then there is like it feels like the relationship is another entity
Hmm.
outside of us also, and realizing that it's like any project, and it needs to be nurtured, and it needs to be
Yeah.
fed and watered, or
Hmm.
whatever metaphor you want to use. Like
Yeah.
what you feed grows, right? And
Right.
so I guess it just takes a little bit of being able to shift your perspective a little bit, because the majority of the time, like I'm seeing through my own eyes, right?
Right.
And I'm
Sure.
making just like I did with you and doing the weights.
Hmm.
Like, oh, I was seeing the situation through my eyes. So of course I was like, oh, do you want 10 more pounds
Yeah.
on there? And what I meant was, you want the tens on instead of the fives? And that was my perspective. And if I had maybe taken a beat or just stayed out of it, like I'd have a different perspective, and I just see what you're doing. But then anyway, giving our relationship the time and attention
Yeah.
is, I think, what what's making it successful.
Hmm.
If I could be so bold as to say that.
Making time, showing up, um, not having it have to be those big grand things, the perfect things. Um, I mean, we check in with each other, especially on the weekend. We do lots of texting and communication that way.
Yeah.
I will say, even we make time for each other when we need it every once in a while. And this doesn't happen very often now, but there were a couple years in my professional life where um, you get to a certain position and there's not as many people you can talk to on your campus or at your work about issues and trouble that's happening and processing and being able to work through things.
Mm.
And so I know in those moments, you really did help me through that, where I'd message and say, hey, do you have 20 minutes for me to go to my car and just talk something out?
Yeah.
And um, that is you like making sure that I'm also like solid, comfortable, um, feeling safe and not
Support.
stressed, supported,
Support.
right?
Yeah.
It's support.
Yeah.
And vice versa. And I
Oh,
feel like we try and talk about that and not hide where you at stress level
yeah.
today or this week. What does your week look like? A couple weeks ago, we were talking about, you're like, okay, so here are the things I have going on this week. What do you have going on this week?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. And just lining up expectations of what are both of us balancing so we're sure we can support each other without having to, I don't know, not having to in the moment depend on clear communication that there's a lot going on this week.
Yeah.
Because sometimes that can get stressful, right? If you're already in the thick of it. And then you have me texting you saying, I need to talk, or how are you? Can you jump on a call?
Yeah. Yeah.
And you're just like,
And I'm like, the internet just went down and I can't get on my computer. And
I have meetings.
it could turn into like, I guess I'll just stop whatever I'm doing, right?
Oh,
like
gosh.
something like
Yeah.
that posture pops up and it's like ugly and gross. It's like, I don't want to show up like that ever,
No.
you know?
Yeah. Yeah.
The relationship is a partnership, right?
Yeah.
And it's like a 50-50. And this is kind of like the one time we were talking about, is our relationship a startup or a merger
Oh,
or,
yeah. I
kind of
remember
thing,
about that. Yeah.
right?
Remember that.
And I'm like, well, for us, I think that we say it's kind of like a startup, but it's like, I think it is because it's like most successful startups, like before they, take off or like get their public offering or whatever, they've already figured out like, okay, this is the split before
Yeah.
we make money. This is the split. And so like for us, it's like the split is 50-50 and we protect that. We protect each other and we protect the relationship from outside noise.
Mm-hmm.
Right. That's another thing that came up. And I was like, you're right. We do that, don't we? Like
Yeah.
we try to not let the shoulds or what other people suggest would maybe work the best for us
Yeah.
or what worked for them. Like we
Mhm.
don't necessarily let that dictate how we operate. Again, like we're always looking for different ways and better ways of operating together and separate, right?
Mm-hmm.
So it's not like we're opposed to it. It always comes back to you and I
Yeah.
and what's going to serve us and help us maintain that partnership that we've had for over 20 years, right?
Mm-hmm.
So that was just maybe the last thing that was on my list.
Yeah. Well, the protecting our relationship from outsiders. Is that kind of what you said?
Yeah, well, that's kind of how you phrased it. And I'm like, yeah, like letting that noise in, or let us knock us off of what our course is.
Right. Well, and I think that is also one thing around that. We probably did this more when we were younger. I don't do this as much now. But I don't know if I've done it that much.
Nobody knows what you're talking about.
I know. So what I'm talking about is when you and I have an argument or we don't see eye to eye on something or we have a conflict, my first text or call isn't like my sister or a friend to be like, can you believe Keith?
Oh yeah.
Like
we don't seek outside counsel.
No, we, and hold court, with other people because there's part of me that it's not that I'm in those moments when I've done that before in past relationships or probably early in our relationship. It's more that I want to know I'm not unreasonable and that I'm right. And I feel like we've grown to a point where, like I said, we're seeking more to understand where the other person's coming from and figure out, okay, so we're a team. This isn't about you or me, it's about us. So having somebody else that doesn't know you as deeply as I know you and me as deeply as you know me doesn't necessarily make as much sense. And it's not that we can't talk to other people about each other, but
No.
it's not my natural go-to because I never really found it super helpful.
there is a time and a place where you need to talk through something, right?
Sure.
Like with somebody. And if there's a problem with a person, sometimes they're not the best person to go to. But in this type of relationship, like ours, committed relationship,
Yeah.
we have found with the right timing and tone and understanding, we can pretty much talk through anything, right?
Yeah.
Like I don't
That's true.
think there's been anything that we haven't been able to tackle together.
What it all boils down to, and maybe what I'm trying to say by bringing this up, I know people sometimes have put a lot of pressure on themselves and on their relationships on Valentine's Day. And you can certainly do what it is that you want to do and whatever makes you feel happy and good and loved. But sometimes it's okay to be boring. And sometimes the most special moments and the deepest love comes from um, being just a little bit boring and focusing on the small moments and be willing to stay home, puzzle, and
Okay.
what?
Yeah,
Maybe?
sure.
You're like, let's do it. Let's stay
Yeah.
home and puzzle.
Let's do it.
Or if that.
Do what works for you. But I'm just saying, it's not about what works for us. It will probably work for everybody or anything. But like, I don't know. There's something about not putting so much weight on the things that just aren't that important to us, and
Yeah.
not just to me, right? It's like, okay, what's important to us?
Yeah.
It's an us thing.
Right. Exactly.
Yeah.
So find what's important to you and don't put so much pressure on yourself.
I like it.
But
it's a good place to wrap it up, huh?
Sounds good.
All right. We get out here?
Let's do it.
Thanks, everybody.
Thank you.
Bye.
Bye.
Love you.
I love you too.
Yay. What you feed grows.